I don't care how much so-called evidence you have, you can never make me interested in K-pop blind items or Sasong's tell-alls. Rather than speaking the truth, they sound vindictive and cruel. I hate when K-pop fans try to speculate on intimate areas of K-pop idols' lives. I hate that this is a legitimate form of entertainment on both YouTube and TikTok, and that they rake in so many views. I don't know how I can stress that taking baseless rumors as fact is harmful. It almost makes me think that Korea's horrendous defamation laws actually might not be that bad. Just kidding, obviously. I mean, throughout multiple videos I've made it clear that an idol's character or identity has little to do with what makes me a fan, but beyond disinterest, I do think this is harmful behavior. Case in point, the whole Sunghan Breeze situation, in which fans' hunger for secrets and the intimate lives of idols has led to devastating results. I may not be a Breeze, since this is the first I've interacted with their fans and content, but I'm supporting the boycott. The way OT7 Breezes have organized themselves and committed to really showing SM that they cannot toy with their idols has been impressive. And it's just cruel what SM has done by essentially stripping this young man of his dreams, not only after he just got it to debut, but also toying with him by making him wait a year and kicking him out after 2 days. That is disgusting behavior. So are the OT6 fans? No, not fans. OT7 Antis is a much better title for them, who are doing some of the most vile and inhumane actions. Because I don't know how else to describe the magnitude of which they are wishing death on a person for essentially dating before debuting and smoking. With that being said, hope the best for OT6 Breeze, and all Breeze members, including Sunghan, no matter the outcome. But without further ado, let's go over some harmful rumors that K-pop fans love to circulate. Plastic surgery. Every time I open TikTok I see somebody trying to prove that one idol has had a ton of plastic surgery so that they can compare it with another idol which they believe is 100% natural. I have no interest in discovering what secret surgeries certain idols have done, and when they did the alleged surgery. For me, this conversation is so reductive, and amplifies the part of the K-pop community that disinterests me the most, the visuals. I find no interest in the comparisons on which idol is more beautiful, and even less so on who is more naturally beautiful. I don't stand based on beauty, but on how good of an entertainer and artist the idol is. And even though I'm pretty bad at noticing changes from plastic surgery, it has to be pretty obvious for me to notice a change. But even with my blindness to surgery, some of these speculative claims are so far-fetched. You will see a before and after, and the changes would be so non-existent. I'm almost certain that many of these comparison videos just fixate on an idol's face until they start to convince themselves that there are changes. Because if you keep telling yourself that this idol had a nose job over and over again, yeah, it's gonna eventually sound like the truth. Or else you're going to have to come to terms that you are sick and probably need to take a break from K-pop. And that's a harder pill to swallow than recognizing that an idol is unattainably beautiful. However, what really makes me uncomfortable is that there's a lot of speculation about underage idols, or idols getting surgery when they were underage, which I don't like because most people take this information as a grand aha moment, when, to me, that's just sad. Personally, underage plastic surgery is upsetting, not cathartic. I don't like how it's used to make others feel better. That's disgusting to me. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk about idols having surgery, because I'm not naive. I know idols have surgery, and I know South Korea is one of the plastic surgery capitals of the world, if not the plastic surgery capital. However, I would really like the creators to really think before they start discussing idols' plastic surgery and why they feel the need to discuss it. Is it to shame idols? Is it for some twisted superiority complex? Is it to compare them to others? Or is it to bring awareness to the pervasive nature of plastic surgery in entertainment? And if so, the latter, then why do you need to bring in specific names? Just some questions certain creators should really think about before they upload. Dating. Probably the most pervasive of the rumors. Or at least the one that gets the most attention. I wish that idols could date freely without fear of ruining their careers or reducing their fanbase, but unfortunately, this industry thrives on fans believing they have ownership of idols. It's something I really enjoy about Western celebrities. As someone a bit romantic, I like seeing people express their love. I do think the West has an opposite problem in which celebrities are expected to overshare, which I also think is wrong. Ideally, everyone would be able to share bits of their life on their own terms with their own boundaries and be met with respect. but fan culture everywhere is in constant disarray. I will always remember the one interview where EXO were talking about their futures, and eventually getting married, and the fans just whined. The interviewer asks them when the members would be able to get married, and the fans reach the consensus of never, and you just see the misery on the men's faces. It's just really depressing. That these idols can only sing about love but are barred from ever publicly expressing it, is such a weird situation, and I think the speculating on who is dating who, based on completely innocuous things, is tone deaf. Why are we trying to out-idol relationships if we know that they will be met with some real potentially career-ruining consequences? Where is the enjoyment and entertainment people get from that? All it does is create drama for everyone and sometimes send a lot of hate to the parties involved in the rumor. It's gotten to the point where idols of the opposite sex are incredibly careful of their interactions with one another, where they self-monitor their behaviors to ensure no rumors or scandals can arise. I see a lot of people complimenting Yoongi for how she avoids contact with male idols and the panic she has when they interact. And some say that it's hilarious, and how respectful she is to fans, which is an incredibly weird thing to say. However, other fans remark on how sad it is that she can't comfortably interact with them and that she has to be constantly aware of how their interactions are going to be perceived, with the knowledge that they are going to be perceived in the most negative light if she missteps. It doesn't even feel like we are in the 21st century with how awkward idols act. How stiff and uncomfortable some interactions with idols of the opposite sex are. Of course, not all are like this, however, this does come with consequences. The most recent example in my mind is Kiss of Life doing a dance challenge with a tease, and how fans didn't like how close the idols were. I'm assuming the anger comes from fans' insecurity about how sexy the members are. It's just with how the idol industry currently is, I don't understand why fans continue to try and prove idols are dating. I don't see how this could benefit anyone, but only makes idols even more paranoid. So even if you are not the one creating the dating rumors, I would suggest not promoting or sharing rumors, even if it's to share how much you would like this couple to be real. Because even your good intentions can lead to negative consequences. Sexuality. As someone who grew up in a very conservative country, and saw some real-life scary events happen due to people being outed, I don't think for the most part the speculation of an idol's sexuality is funny or entertaining. Have I found some funny? Yeah, but have I found a lot of the jokes to be crossing unspoken boundaries? Absolutely. I personally believe in not speculating on an idol's sexuality, and that also means not assuming all are straight. But that means I don't think about an idol's sexuality at all. This is not a factor that is important to my enjoyment of their content, or my attraction to any of them. My chances with any idol are the same regardless if they are attracted to women or not, as in, my chances are zero either way. So I don't have a reason to care about their sexuality if they have not made it explicitly clear. Of course, I would be supportive if any idol is brave enough to come out, but I wouldn't want them to feel outed or forced to. If this is a topic they either don't want to or can't speak about, I don't see how it's appropriate for fans of all people to speak for them on this highly personal subject. And while a lot of people might say that I'm too sensitive to this issue because of where I grew up, and I have to agree that this is partially true, I also think many of you are too blasé about this because of your upbringing, where the idea of real consequences of someone's sexuality, or even rumors of someone's sexuality will only end with some pushback, but also met with a lot of support, which I hope is true, but I can't help that my mind goes to much more dire consequences. This is just something I find really distasteful about the K-pop community, the confidence and arrogance some come to claim an idol is a certain sexuality. I understand wanting representation, however, shouldn't someone's autonomy come first? This is also something I'm not 100% sure about where my moral boundaries for this topic begin and end. As I said, I do find some jokes funny, while others are off color. So, I do think it's a very tricky situation which I haven't fully made my mind on. I will say what I don't enjoy is the shipping of real people. I never will condone that. I think it gets too close to treating real people as characters. The removal of their agency is just a big no for me. And this is especially true with shipping members with each other. We see how a friendship can turn into something more salacious, because fans are horny. Not to say all same-sex relationships are inherently sexual, but the way some fans interact with couplings doesn't come off as purely romantic and seems more like an exploration of the fans' sexual desires, which, I think is pretty obviously a bad thing. But even if you're shipping members romantically and innocently, I still don't agree with it, as this could raise discomfort. Of course, some idols play into this role, and my mind goes immediately to Nayeon and Yoonhan, who play this old married couple bit. And I don't mind it when the idol is clearly comfortable and plays along. I just think about the whole Karina situation in which people got really mad that Karina was dating a man. It was a very loud vocal minority who had genuinely convinced themselves that Karina was a lesbian and in a relationship with Winter, and anything that came in between their delusions was met with hostility, including the idols that they so love. I mean, this isn't the first time this has happened. I remember making a similar post in Amino, but about Jen-Lisa shippers who got pretty hostile. When Jennie and Kai's relationship was confirmed due to it ruining their ship, it's clearly a pattern and a pretty ugly one at that. Since we are on the topic of sexuality, I guess I would like to bring up the whole speculation on which groups have slept their way to their position. What an old misogynistic take. I'm a bit late to this conversation, but there was one TikToker who was spreading rumors that a certain girl group had been sleeping with a higher up, and that's why they were so favored over another group. And the worst part was that they were suggesting one of the members, who is a minor, was also participating in the activities. All I'm going to say is this is deplorable behavior, but also, my feelings are pretty similar to how I feel about plastic surgery. These are important topics that should be discussed, but, what do you gain from naming idols? Because to me this feels more like a tactic to humiliate them, for something you don't even know is true, and if it were to ever be true, which hopefully not, these idols should be met with sympathy, not be patronized or shamed. In closing, deep dives into rumors about idols' dating lives, appearance, and sexuality reflect a troubling obsession with aspects of K-pop idols' lives that are both private and, frankly, irrelevant to their artistry. Videos dissecting these topics not only often lack factual basis, but also reinforce invasive narratives that reduce idols to mere objects of scrutiny rather than individuals with the right to privacy. While such content generates high engagement, it fuels a toxic cycle of speculation that can have real-world consequences on the mental health and well-being of idols, as well as fans' perspectives on boundaries. Well, regardless of this troubling behavior, I hope things change. I hope with the Rise boycott, we see some real changes on what idols are allowed to do. With people from all parts of the internet bringing attention to how ridiculous toxic fans are. Anyways, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, bye.